That's it. Hey, look, that was it. That was the right one.
What
up? I did it.
Hey, are you sure?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello,
I see
gamers.
it. We're good. You can't say that because what if they're not gamers? I get yelled at all the time,
Good
Logan.
morning, Vietnam.
We are all gamers at heart.
I'm congested. It sucks.
Hello, everyone.
Deep thoughts.
But welcome to episode 25 of Uncalled for. It's actually, this episode I guarantee is going to be
25.
funnier than the last one.
Oh, sure.
Is it?
Well, it's funnier than 24, so it has to be.
25.
Thank you, Logan. At least someone appreciates good humor nowadays.
Good
Unlike these
Define good in
two.
that
Unlike these
humor.
two over here. But welcome to episode 25, where every single Monday night we get together and we talk stuff. I don't know. We talk about just random stuff. Any stuff, good stuff, bad stuff, just stuff in general, right?
Nerdy stuff.
They talk
Stuff
about
and
anime.
things.
Nerdy stuff.
They talk about a lot of anime. It breaks my heart.
No,
That's
did you-
weeb stuff.
Yeah, weeb culture.
That's
Nerdy
weeb.
stuff is technically video games.
It's true.
This is true.
Either way, welcome. We get to
The
talk
good
about
stuff.
4 random topics like we do every single week on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time here on Twitch TV/Huge Media Studios and uploaded to YouTube 5 days a week over at youtube.com/Huge Media. So, Weston, would you like to start this week?
I mean, I
I don't
can't.
think
Have
we
I
s-
ever started?
I don't think we started with you. And if we
I'm pretty
haven't,
sure we've
it's-
started with
we've
you
started with you before. It's just been a long time.
All right, that's fine.
So if you would like to start.
Feels like the first.
All right, sure. So, my topic this week is going to be your guys' thoughts on episodic versus continuous storytelling within any form of media, like the live-action TV shows, anime, even like miniseries and stuff like that. Though typically those are going to be more continuous story for those.
So you're
but-
saying, like, as an example from what we've already referenced, SpongeBob would be episodic.
Yes,
where it's not one.
each episode is kind of its own story.
It's not
and
one long drawn out story that goes. Okay,
something you
so-
can kind of just jump
Situational.
into at any moment,
Yes.
like any episode, and be able to understand what's going on. Versus you jump in the middle, you're like, "Oh crap, what did I miss?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want
You
to
know?
clarify for
Just
everyone
want to discuss
watching
some of
and
the
listening.
strengths and weaknesses of both. Which ones you kind of prefer on your ends, stuff like that. So
So like your slice of life anime or your situational comedies, your sitcoms.
See, I would like to think that I kind of prefer a mixture of both, because
Either or.
like I'm thinking of my favorite shows. You get The Office and Parks and Rec, and yes, it has like a story that goes from episode 1 all the way through, but a lot of it is episodic where you could watch them in almost any
It's
order,
a-
and it wouldn't like other than like some
Situational
characters
comedy,
being
yeah.
there and other characters not being there, like whatever. Really wouldn't be that much of a difference because you could start episode like I don't know like or season 3 of The Office and be just fine. Like like it's not like you're missing information from episodes 1 and 2 or seasons 1 and 2. So I kind of prefer it that way. Like it makes more sense if you watch it all in order. So like in that way, it's more continuous story. Because like Parks and Rec is, I mean, towards the end, I guess they were more continuous story,
Last
but
couple seasons.
was more continuous instead of episodic.
This is all
But
about Annie Poehler anyway.
yeah.
But
So
the first couple,
you could just watch any episode and it'd
every
be funny.
episode
Yeah.
was its own thing.
Yeah, exactly. So
It
I
just had some of the same people in it.
I prefer, I guess, if we're gonna go that way, the episodic. I guess that's what I prefer, and a really long, drawn out way of saying it. That's what I
no,
prefer.
that's fine. That's fine. I know personally, I prefer the continuous storytelling myself. I like the deep, well thought out stories that you have to actually watch and look forward to, and then like that. I don't know. I'm kind of drawn out about whether I like the weekly or binge watching myself, but that's a different conversation altogether. But
Right.
regardless, I personally prefer the continuous storytelling rather than episodic. I feel like you lose a lot with the episodic and how it feels like some of the stories end up being rushed within those episodes. And I feel you often get lower quality, often, not always, often get lower quality stories.
Not if they're done right.
I said often, not always.
In general, I agree. I think you get the more thought out ideas and stories through continuous.
Continuous.
Yeah,
And
because
episodic is just because you're literally doing it in 45 minutes or 23 minutes or whatever. However long
yeah,
the
it
episode
depends on how
is.
long the episode is. Yeah.
That's all you have to cram it all into that and make it still flow and work and stuff. While you have an entire season or so or more in continuous, so you can actually do what you want.
Yeah.
And flesh out a more worthwhile story.
See, because I definitely appreciate both. Because I mean, The Walking Dead up until when I stopped watching was phenomenal, and that is completely continuous story. I just after they got to the point where the guy had tigers, I just was like, nah, I give up. Like this show has lost me.
It got
it got really far fetched.
Season 3, so
It got like really far fetched after
first
a certain
season is
point.
still the best season.
I mean, it was really good, yeah. And I, kind of going off what you said too, you weren't sure like if you preferred binge watching. I personally would rather binge watch than wait a week, because then in my mind I'm thinking like, what's gonna be next? What's gonna be next? And I don't want to wait. I'm really impatient when it comes to
It
that.
gives you something to look forward to. As
It
well.
does. That's an entirely different conversation topic, though, of weekly versus like waiting to watch each episode versus binge watching. That's actually an entire conversation in of itself, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
but so
Yeah.
I think for me, it depends. I think I like continuous. I think that's what I stick to, especially like when it comes to anime. I like one big like overarching story. But I think, I do like sitcoms as well. So I do like, that episodic stuff too. Like
It works sometimes.
I love,
It too.
I love The Office. I know you guys give me crap about it, but I love How I Met Your Mother. I don't love Friends, but I like it. I'll watch it. But like stuff like that, like I enjoy. So, but no, typically I do like the continuous. I like one big story.
Yeah.
Like I think of shows like Naruto and My Hero Academia, which are really long shows that have these great stories. I think actually probably the best show I've seen that has done it is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like, just I think it's 87 episodes, something like that.
Was
It's
it?
4 seasons, so
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But it's
was
like
it? I could have sworn it was like
about-
in the mid 60s, but you may be correct. I may
it's 4
misremember.
seasons, whatever.
Yeah.
how many seasons there are.
But
Episodes it is.
What's
All
the name
just-
of the show?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Alexa, how many episodes are there of Full Metal Alchemist?
Brotherhood.
Full Metal Alchemist had 51 episodes and 1 season.
That was the first season.
Yeah.
Or the first anime, not
Hey
Brotherhood.
Alexa, or hey Google.
It's
It's
Alexa.
Alexa. Hey Alexa, how many episodes does Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood have?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood had 69 episodes. and 1
Nice.
season.
There you go.
Nice.
So okay.
But
yeah.
to each their own, right?
Yeah,
You know,
to each their own.
Episodic, like, it's interesting to think, though. Like, it's not just sitcoms, it's like comedies. Like,
Yeah, I think
of,
comedies.
my favorite sitcom ever is Everybody Loves Raymond.
That show is really
Like,
funny.
It really
if
is
you're
well
thinking of
done.
episodic, like, adventures, like, that is the
Yeah.
best there is for
Yeah.
sitcom for me.
Mhm.
But,
That is pretty good.
but if you think about it, there's other, like, I don't know if you want to call them dramas or fantasy stuff, like live action, that uses that, at least in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
before they, flesh out their story.
Mhm.
Like, I think of the beginning of Supernatural. If you guys watch any of that.
I love that
It was
show.
literally, like, is the best in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's literally, they're just driving across the country pretty much and looking for, like, monster sightings
Yep.
pretty much. And every
Yep.
episode was its own.
It's just its
singular
monster
thing.
hunting. Yep.
Yep.
And then it, like, started through, like, season 3 and 4. And
Getting
then
into the
5,
lore.
Getting into a crazier overarching
Yep.
thing, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think of one of my favorite shows from a long time ago. I don't know if you've even heard of it. It's called Stargate Sg1.
I've heard of Stargate.
I love that show. So good. But they find this artifact Stargate, send them to other planets. They just like go to random planets and explore. They're explorers for the U.S. Army. But every episode was just like a new planet. So it was like episodic in that way, especially in the first 3 seasons or so. But then it gets into the growing themes and storyline that goes out through all of it. Like,
Yeah.
It leaves that. I don't know why it leaves that necessarily. Like, I know why, but sometimes it's good that it leaves it. Sometimes I feel like you miss out on a lot of things. Like, personally, just for Supernatural, I think the first couple seasons are the best of it.
I agree.
Like,
Mhm.
it's so good.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
Just, hey, let's drive and we'll see what we find. We'll look at the news and
Mhm.
internet articles or whatever, and ask Bobby. And
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll find out what we'll just hit
Yep.
the next monster place. Like
Yep.
that was really cool. When I started
No,
watching
I love
show.
that. Yep.
No,
love
I was
that
going to
show.
say Supernatural is going to be my example of one of my favorite episodic ones for that early
there you
set. So,
Like
I completely agree.
I feel like it sticks to that thing in comedies more, and then when it's more of a serious show, it like gets away from it. I don't know why that is. I just see that pattern.
I think it lends itself more to comedies. I think
Yeah, it does. It does.
it's the idea of just, oh, let's do a stupid little adventure, make some jokes, and then when it comes to like, more adventure stuff and more like serious stuff, it's harder to get like, a really in-depth story in just 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I know I have seen some of the more overarching stories that are just hidden behind the subtle, like in a subtle undertone of a bunch of episodic ones before.
Yeah.
Some of those can be really well done. It's all depending on how they actually handle that overarching story and how they actually tie it together.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I think that's what really defines whether or not the episodic can work.
Yeah.
I just think that normal pattern ends up explaining or like proving that good story reigns supreme.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just what it proves. And I still like, episodic comedy stuff, but I think at the end of the day, having a really good story at the end of the day is what people want. But
Yeah. I think, and
there's most people.
I think it's cool how some shows can do it, like both,
Yeah.
like simultaneously. Like a great example I think of is, I know Dan craps on the show a lot, but the Flash, like the CW Flash,
It's awful.
is
It is
It's-
actually for the
it
first
I
like
watched the first season.
yeah.
was
Well,
gonna
that's
say,
that's
first
my
after
that's my
two
point.
2 seasons
I-
I was fine with.
I'm a fan of.
Second season.
I'm a fan up to
started going downhill, but it
season
was alright.
season
It was
5
alright.
is when I kind of lost it, but season 1 is a perfect example of that. It's pretty episodic throughout the whole first season, and it's just them fighting one metahuman after the next.
See, it's how it starts.
But then you get these every like so often, like a few seconds here each episode, you get this overarching story of Ea Barthon.
Same thing with Arrow.
Yep, and then
First 2 seasons, all right.
Yep.
First season especially, like it's we're just going through this book.
yep, he's going through his
Yep.
list. Yep,
So everyone is just like another name. In the
Yep.
list.
Yep.
Like that worked, and then it got it,
Mm-hmm.
or involved a
Yep.
story, and then it got crap.
yep.
Yeah, when they got away from the episodic stuff, they fell apart bad. In
I
my
haven't seen
opinion.
like half these shows you guys were talking about.
I
So.
like the Flash.
You should get cultured.
It's all right.
What you need to watch is The Mandalorian.
That
This is true.
This is the
Pure
way.
continuous, and
It
it's
is.
fantastic.
Phenomenally well
This
done.
is the way, Jordan.
This is the way.
I have
I know,
spoken.
I need to watch it. I know.
Dude,
I know.
Especially because the Book of Boba Fett's coming out.
it is
It is.
soon.
I am aware that I need to watch it. I know. It's just one of those things where it's like I want to binge watch, but I'm just waiting until I, in my mind, actually have time to binge watch it.
Make time. It's worth it.
It really is. I loved
It
it.
is worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
And it's right up your alleyway, If you're a so-called Star Wars fan, right?
Yeah, I enjoy Star Wars.
This
It is
the
the-
best of Star Wars.
It is
It
some of
really
the
is.
best Star Wars content since the prequels.
Shut up, Logan.
This is why
Seriously.
sometimes you don't get an opinion.
I mean, as long as it's better than the sequel trilogy.
It is way better
Then
than the
we're
sequel
good, 'cause-
I think
trilogy.
it's better than all the movies.
God,
I would agree with Dan on this one.
Sorry. Hot
I
take.
just was sitting there,
No.
like my dad had. Crap, I forget what one it even was. The second one of the trilogy.
Oh, Last Jedi?
Last Jedi?
Yeah, he had that on, and just watching Rey, I'm like, come
That
on,
movie drives me
like
nuts.
it just so
It ruins Luke
bad.
Skywalker.
Like Rey is just such a terrible character. I can't. It's like
I don't-
I think Kylo Ren is such a cool villain, and I love
Really?
just like
you just like his lightsaber.
I like
think
no I
that's
like
all
the
there is to
dynamic. Like I like the dynamic of the
He's
character.
reminiscent of Vader, and that's what you like.
I like
Maybe.
I like
He's
some
a
of the
man.
characters. I actually don't mind Rey. I think up until Last Jedi, like halfway
I
through
don't
Last
think
Jedi,
Rey's a terrible character.
I think
it's the same
they just-
basic story.
they
of,
did
you
some
know,
stupid stuff with her that I was a little like, ah, come on.
Like the fact that she just barely picked up a lightsaber, like a
So-
couple days before, and now she knows how to fight really good with it. Like that's bullcrap.
good enough.
Well, what I liked about
Luke
it
did
at
the same
first,
thing.
But
But-
at least he had a story of training with Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yeah, and she trained with Leia. Which
what
was
what I liked about Force Awakens with her is,
Force Awakens was by far the best.
I
of all
agree.
those.
but like the reason why I liked her in Force Awakens and like not so much after is because it set her up as just this random nobody.
I loved it.
And
I
it's
loved
like,
it as well.
What they did. Everyone hated that in The Last Jedi. I thought that was fantastic.
but no, then Last Jedi and then the last one, whereas Skywalker ruined that. It's like, oh, you're a Palpatine.
Last Jedi didn't ruin it. Snoke said, "Your parents were no one."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's what was amazing, and then everyone hated that. And I'm like, no, that literally means that anyone can do this.
That was
if
probably
they try.
the only redeemable quality of Last Jedi for me, because they ruined Luke Skywalker so bad.
It had really good cinematography, but
But
all in all, it was pretty crap.
but yeah, like I liked how she just was a nobody.
Wars.
But then they're like, oh no, you're a Palpatine, and oh no, you're this Force dyad that never happens. And it's like, as cool as that was to see how like they could bend together the Force and like,
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
iffy.
it was really cool. But like, it was just so like thrown it together like last
It
second.
was
like
out of nowhere.
It
I
was
thought it
like
kind of stupid.
it's
It was
just
out
it's
of
really
nowhere.
weird.
I don't know, there's so many things that you can introduce, like with the Force piece, especially like in the extended lore. Like we've not even touched the beginning of what you can do with the Force and like where that comes from and stuff.
Yeah.
And they just like 2 minutes. Oh, here, look at this.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's like some okay.
Well, the
just-
dyad thing also ticks me off now because they're trying to retcon the whole Sith rule of two, and make it so they're trying to form dyads. They're not. It's not because
Darth Bane, Rule 2.
it's
Go.
literally like, I think it's a book that just came out. It's talking about it, and a lot of Star Wars fans are really upset right now because it's like, no, the rule of two is meant because Sith cannot. The power corrupts them so much that they can't have more than two, or else they're going to kill each other off. Like that's the whole point of the rule of two, is a master and apprentice, and even then they try to kill each other.
I feel like that
Apprentices
is
there
a.
when they get powerful enough to kill the master, they become
Yep.
the master. That's the only reason.
I feel like that's a whole entire different.
This is a whole
topic.
podcast I could have.
Oh, it's definitely is. We've shifted so
Yeah.
far off,
Yeah.
but it's fine. I love these
Yeah.
conversations.
We're
I've
talking
talked-
about The Mandalorian. You need to
No,
watch
I've
it.
talked about
Yes.
this several times. I could do a whole podcast about Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I still say I want you and
Those are
Zach to get together and just have a whole conversation, like an hour long, about Nintendo or Pokemon or just whatever. I want you guys to let's sit down and do that. That'd be great.
3 of us.
But
Jordan can watch.
well, I'm sure I'll be running the board and making sure.
I'd
everything's
love to
good.
actually be able to sit down and actually discuss Darth Revan, one of my favorite Sith of all time.
He's so,
dude, I'm excited to see him in the remake of Knights of the Republic.
so excited to have the remake.
I'm
Me
excited
too.
for the remake as
That's
well.
one of my favorite games.
But move on then.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah,
Okay. So what way should we go
Yeah.
on the table?
Don't matter.
Yes.
Do you want to go second or last?
I can go first. Oh, you too? I'll go first. But yes, I'll go
Okay.
second. That's pretty quick anyway. So, but just thought of it today. It's kind of interesting, I guess. But if you could think of any game, any video game, that you could change what type of game it is.
Mm.
So like an RPG to an FPS, first-person shooter, or a first-person shooter to an RPG, or a multiplayer party game or something, or whatever you want. If what would it be? One game you could choose is different. I know what mine is. If you guys want to think about it a little bit.
Now, are we changing the style of the games or just
Exact total style.
like the genre or just the graph? Like, could I just change graphics?
No genre. Has to be genre.
Okay. Because
Like-
my first thought was gonna be we'll turn like a Pokemon game into an open world RPG, but like Pokemon, you can kind of go wherever you want in a way. Like it's not the same,
Kinda.
but I would just say that Pokemon to open world RPG I think would be make it kind of like a Skyrim-esque
Or
type
open world
deal.
like simulation would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like a Skyrim styled Pokemon game would be so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. Well, Legends Arceus is getting close.
kind of.
Well, it's gonna be more of
It's
a
Monster Hunter.
I'd say it's more of a
but,
Monster Hunter from
it's
what
gonna
I've been
be,
told.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a stepping stone.
Yeah. What started this is League of Legends came out with Arcane, their animated series.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
I saw so many tweets about Arcane last night, and I had
So
no
I
clue
haven't
what
watched
it
it
was.
yet. I'm really excited. The internet was out today, so didn't get to watch it. But no, mine would be a story-driven RPG about League of Legends because I'm a huge fan. I don't play League of Legends. I don't like MOBAs. But the lore for League of Legends, the characters and the story is so fantastic. And I would play that in a heartbeat. Like, it'd be sick. I'm really glad they're delving deeper into... I know they retconned a bunch of the lore, and I don't really know what's different now, but they're delving into this storytelling aspects of their content now. Like they have Arcane, the first 3 episodes of the first season of Arcane dropped, and it looks freaking awesome, and I really want to watch it. But some games like that have such cool potential that just it doesn't work with the type of game it is. So, but that would be my choice for sure. Story-driven RPG from League of Legends. But,
yeah, I mean that'd be super cool.
Yeah, just curious
For
as
sure.
to what you guys think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. 'Cause I mean, obviously, like I said, the Pokemon, like Elder Scrolls type deal, like just complete open world RPG would be so cool.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know that would work is because I mean, with the Pixelmon mod on Minecraft, like that's my favorite way to play Minecraft now. I think is getting Pokemon mixed in with that. So I think being able to mix Pokemon with other games would work incredibly well.
Sure.
I'm trying to think though of like other games. I'm trying to think of like a cool, like I don't know, I don't even know, man. Because like Mario Kart, you can't really change it to racing, but maybe like more of a simulation instead of arcade. Mario Kart could be kind of like where it had like more realistic driving mechanics. I don't know, like just
like old school like Gran Turismo where you buy different parts and mod your car and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like that'd be kind of cool.
Exactly.
Underground Mario Kart, like speed, Need for Speed street racing.
Yes,
stuff.
like that,
I like it.
That would
That'd
be
be kinda
super.
sick.
That would be
kinda
super
sick,
cool.
actually.
That's another one I can think of. Like that's exactly Need for Speed Underground is exactly what I was thinking of. But like a Mario Kart mixed with that, like
That'd be kind of cool. Actually,
would be-
you
would be
know it
awesome.
would be sick.
what's up?
So I love Super Smash Brothers,
Mhm.
and I want to change what Super Smash Brothers is per se, but if they did like another kind of spin-off to the game, to Smash Brothers, I would love to see like a JRPG in like the
Pretty
Smash,
cool.
like
The
just
multiversal thing.
like I could just see this like super sick like what kind of what Octopath Traveler did, like that style, but have like all of these Nintendo characters in this JRPG, and they all have their own different like abilities and
So not necessarily like intercrossing sometimes, but like you can pick your person in their path, right?
not necessarily. I'm talking more of the art style, just
Okay,
straight up
okay,
art style,
yeah.
like visual appeal of the Octopath, like that 2D,
Sure, yeah.
like HD 2D thing.
Mm.
I just love the art style, but like just a JRPG of Smash, and it's like you get to build your roster, and then you get to build your team, and it's like all turn based, like because I love turn based RPGs, and I think it'd be really cool to see that,
That'd be cool.
like all these characters come together and do turn based stuff. And like if you know, obviously if that's a long shot, I'd like to see just a Zelda JRPG, honestly. Like get Zelda in a JRPG format where it's turn based, and I think it'd be cool.
Sure.
speaking of
Okay.
Zelda, I'm gonna start playing Ocarina of Time at some point now that it's on the Switch. I just want to throw that because I know you always tell me to play that one, or you always tell me to play that one.
Yes,
Actually, I always tell you to
Link to
play
the
Link
Past.
to the Past.
that is a great one to play. You should play that
Put
one.
that one.
You should really play that one first.
First,
I don't know about first or
Not
not,
necessarily
but
first or not,
but
I
you
think
need to
that's the
play
best
it.
one in
You should
Zelda
play
side.
Skyward Sword first,
well, I've already played Breath of the
no,
Wild and Link's
no,
Awakening.
I would not play that one first.
but it's canonically the first game.
No, it is, but no,
Yeah.
that is not one you start somebody out on. Just because
Okay.
there are enough flaws with that one.
Anyways, back to the-
Regardless,
Yeah. Wes,
I'll
what
go
do
ahead and
you
do
think?
mine. Mine's actually a single element of a series of games where they did something different, but it didn't work. And for this one, I'm going to look at Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Okay.
Okay? That one, they used a card system
Yeah.
to try to play your way through. Some people may have liked it. I abhorred it. Like, it's what ruined the game for me.
Ooh.
Okay? Like, that's the one game of the series I cannot play through.
That's
I
some
have
pretty
played through
strong
most all
words.
of them. I cannot play through that game. I
Which
do
is
not like how it plays
Weird,
out.
because I've heard the story for that one's probably one of the better ones.
It was one of the best stories. I mean, it was so cool. It was connecting the dots between 1 and 2 and making it connect.
Yeah.
And they did something creative. I'll grant them that, but it just didn't work.
Yeah.
You know,
Fell flat.
it fell flat. So if I could, I would take the gameplay and switch it to what it is in the main series. That general hack and slash that they had in the first and second was sufficient. The story in that Chain of Memories was good enough to sustain it. You know, it was good enough
Sure.
that it would have upheld it. It has a phenomenal story, but terrible gameplay, in my opinion. So And that's coming from me, somebody who loves the series a lot. So
So
it's like,
you would just return it to an action adventure then?
yeah, I'd return it to the action adventure from the card-based system it is. So
I guess kind of onto that. Do you think Kingdom Hearts would work as like a traditional JRPG, like turn-based? Like,
I mean, could
I
it?
mean,
Sure.
it could.
do you think
But
it would have
should
been as
it?
successful?
I don't
Not-
think it would
not
have
as
hit the
much as
level
it
it did.
was.
You think so?
I don't think
a lot
so.
Of it was that whimsical,
Mhm.
fun atmosphere that the kind of goofy Disney style, action adventure kind of stuff happened. That's why
Uh-huh.
it has a lot of the love it does. But I don't know. Interesting
I've
thoughts,
seen
I
a
guess.
few, a few people playing Kingdom Hearts, and I just never got into it. I guess.
Yeah, it was.
Me neither.
It's actually really funny.
I started too late.
I work at the elementary school, and they had the book. They had the book fair going this week, and our class went to the book fair today. And for some reason, out of all the like strategy guides and all those BS books you could get as a kid, for some reason they had a Kingdom Hearts one, and I was like, "What the heck?" Like, I didn't really think.
Some of those are actually
I'm actually
cool.
surprised that that's still one that's made.
Yeah,
Like just
Well,
that they
3
even.
just came out.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I'm just surprised that they still make those, considering the fact that literally everybody has access now to the internet in some
Yeah.
way to look all that
A
stuff.
lot
up
of it is
anyways.
like art book included, so it's like
Yeah.
art book and lore book.
See, now
Lots of
that
stuff.
This
that
one-
I
And
get.
love those. So.
That I get. But
This
when it's
one
just
was
a
just, like-
strategy guide, though, that kind of.
well, it
blows
says
my
it was a
mind.
handbook, but then I looked through it, and it was just like a character like encyclopedia. Like, it's like,
So it's a
oh,
lore
this
book, yeah.
is
Okay.
Sora. This
Okay.
is his height and weight, and this is who he is. And
See,
this
now
is-
that makes more sense. Like, I understand that.
There
The
was
strategy guides, though, now I don't.
I'm not gonna lie. There's
Back
one
in the
about
day, those
bot.
things were awesome.
Oh, they were sweet
Yeah.
back in the
So
day.
Well, see, they can't do those anymore because like games don't have cheat codes, so like they don't have like those strategy.
Well,
guides.
even then, like, it wasn't cheat codes, because
There's
I
not a
had
lot of
one
care in
for.
video games nowadays anyway, so-
Mhm.
I had one for Pokemon Emerald, and it was just like, hey, this gym leader is gonna have these. It's like maybe, and like it had like the Pokédex and like what Pokemon learned, what move at what level, and what level it evolved, and all this
Yeah.
different stuff. And it would say, hey, here's how you solve this puzzle.
Yeah.
For instance, the rock
The old
puzzles
school
or
Final
something like
Fantasy
that.
Ones are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see those.
But like, lots of games are digital now too,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like even the ones that aren't. Remember how they used to always come with a booklet?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And remember the good old days when you rented video games from like Video Warehouse,
Yep.
and everyone
Yep.
wrote down the codes in the
Yep.
booklet.
Yep.
And all, yes, that's so good.
Dude, that
Yes.
was back.
Days.
Like, it just life was so much simpler
it was
back
so
then.
cool.
It was so
Yep.
cool.
Nostalgia
I
is
love it.
real.
Mm-hmm.
This is good stuff.
Definitely.
Mm.
I don't know. That's just a random topic that popped in my head today.
Oh, heck
That was
yeah.
good.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I got.
all right. Well, I guess I can go next.
Okay.
Just
Sure.
going to Jordan here. So my topic is, obviously we're all pretty big Marvel fans here. So my topic is, what is your second favorite
Second favorite.
Marvel hero? Not first, because everybody knows ever first, I think. But what is your second favorite Marvel hero?
Spider-Man.
Is your second?
Yes.
Who's your first?
Fat Thor.
So it's Thor.
Because I have a body of a god.
I'm talking comic book, not MCU.
Yeah.
here.
Well, either or.
Hey, it's still
I'm talking
Marvel.
straight
Just
comic.
in general.
But yeah. So Spider-Man is my number one.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Spider-Man is probably realistically my number one, too. I just like to say Fat Thor because it
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of myself.
No, I think we could all agree that Spider-Man's probably just the best.
Yeah, Spider-Man's, I
That'll
think,
be one
all,
of my
that's
topics
why
sometime.
that's why we've all kind
Yeah,
of
so I think
Okay.
Thor, though, would be my answer for this.
Thor.
I
Thor?
I do like Thor a lot.
Because I think
Okay.
Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite Marvel movies.
It's a
and
really good
him
one.
as a character is just awesome. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of people hated what they did in Endgame with him, but
I
personally,
liked
I loved it.
I think
and
It was just crazy.
I loved
I think
it.
it was cool.
It was so funny when they were playing Fortnite, and he's like,
I just like the
he's
whole.
back on again.
I know a lot of people hated it, but I was like, I like how the whole like he was just broken. Like
Yeah.
it literally, like, if you look at the MCU to that point, there's reason for it to happen because
No,
he
there
literally,
is.
he
Yeah.
literally his home world got destroyed.
He lost
Then
everything.
half of his people got wiped out.
His
then-
his parents before that, and then he lost his
Then,
brother.
then his parents, then his brother, then half of his people got wiped out, and then another half of
Mjolnir.
his people got wiped out because Thanos attacked a ship and then snapped half the universe away.
His best friend.
Yep.
Died.
Mm.
He
Heimdall
lost his
died.
hammer.
Lost like everything, and like then realizing that he almost could have like prevented it, and Thanos ended up escaping.
And
It's
then he
like,
did everything to get his Stormbreaker, the new hammer, and it failed.
yep,
It still killed everybody.
yep.
Yeah.
And so it's like it makes sense that he was like broken and depressed and really didn't have anywhere
Oh,
to
yeah.
go. And so
Yeah.
That's why some of the best parts of that movie is him and his mom.
yeah,
Like, it's so good.
no,
It is so
And
good.
I think this kind of gets into to a deeper conversation.
That's
Is
Endgame, not whatever. They're
obviously
fine.
like
You guys are fine.
how much
Chill.
do people care about storytelling in video or in movies?
I've watched when I do this stuff. It's fine. Me too.
Because like I feel like a lot of people that complain about that don't care about the story of the MCU. They care about, oh, I want to see Thor kick butt, or I want to see like
He did quite a few
And
times.
he did.
But like
He's still very powerful.
people, I think a lot of times people hate change in characters,
Oh yeah.
and it's like
I'm usually one of those people.
I usually am
Not that I
too.
hate change, especially like the MCU. I want them. They're gonna use their creative rights to write and make it their own.
Yeah.
They have
You
to.
just want the change to make sense.
I want it to respect where they came from first off.
Yeah.
And I want it to make sense.
But yeah, we want to have character growth. We don't just want to be. I don't want the same Thor that was
Yeah.
in Avengers
Change the
1 and
story
Endgame.
stuff.
right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
But keep the character fundamentally the same.
Yeah.
Because that character has 60, 80 years of history.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
this is an established character and is loved and beloved by everyone for reasons. You don't need to change that to fix a new generation or something. Like,
Yep.
you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Thor would be mine though,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
Yeah.
honestly him and Spider-Man
actually gotten
they're,
some really
they're
cool-
both up there because like
Yeah.
I really like the Norse mythology stuff, and so I
Yeah.
Thor has some cool storylines.
He
He's
definitely is up
some
there
recent
for me.
ones too have been really
His,
good. When he's
Fear
Herald,
itself and Siege storylines are really cool if you ever read those in comics.
the newest one was the Herald of Galactus is pretty cool.
Is there another Thor movie that they're making or
Yeah,
no?
it's called Love and Thunder. It's
oh,
coming out.
when's that coming out?
Next 2 years, I think.
I think it's 20.
Oh, it's 2
gonna
years from
say.
now.
Christian
Aw.
Bale's the main bad guy.
Oh,
He's
oh, that's
Gord-
right. I
he's
heard
Gord-
about that.
Gord
Yeah,
the God Butcher.
I
And then-
forgot. Okay, yeah, I remember hearing he was a bad guy, and then I just totally
He's
forgot.
also supposedly in the next Guardians of the Galaxy too. So
yeah. Oh, cool. You know,
That'd
that's
be
actually
cool.
another one I need to see. I haven't seen the Guardians of the Galaxy.
any of them?
No,
You would really
What?
like those.
I-
You'd
Those would be
enjoy
right up
those.
your alley.
Yeah,
I know they
those are-
would be. because I love them in Avengers. Like I think like there's some of my,
Gamora.
I think they're some of my favorite characters. But
Why
I
is Gamora?
yeah I
Is
just
this still the best movie of all
Haven't.
time? Never was,
Never
man.
was. What?
I love.
Nothing goes over my head. I would catch it.
You guys from Earth? No, we're from Missouri.
that's Earth, dumbass. I love them,
Who
man.
do you guys
Yeah.
follow? You want me to say Jesus?
You need to watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely
You
do.
Guardians
definitely
of the
do.
Galaxy is
100%
amazing.
I do. Yeah. There's a lot that I need to watch, and I know
Well,
that.
Yep, you do.
I know.
Stop failing, Jordan.
I can't help
If
it.
we
My
can
whole
move
life's a
on,
failure.
I
Yeah.
guess
So
my number two. If you, I'll just go.
yeah,
You guys-
Dan, you got yours.
is Wolverine.
Oh,
Ooh, I forgot.
that's
about
my
him.
number 2. so-
Logan.
So we can do this one.
Yeah, we can duel
But,
this one.
Wolverine is fantastic.
He's awesome.
All right. And I do have a soft spot. Okay, Spider-Man's my number one. and
Huge,
Wolverine's one of his best
jacked
friends. Okay. A lot of people don't know that, but
Really?
Yeah, they
Wolverine
are.
and Spider-Man are buds.
Yep.
Really?
Mhm.
Yep.
They have like the most respect for each other, like of anyone.
Yep.
But they never interact at all in the movies.
Well,
the movie.
that's
Well,
the movie
that's
legal.
Because they don't have the
that's
rights.
Right.
legal
I know.
reasons.
Yeah.
Now they
They
can,
do
but
now. It wouldn't make sense in the MCU, but right now, especially since he
Not
doesn't
yet.
exist, but,
Yeah.
Mhm.
But no, like Wolverine, like wholeheartedly believes Spider-Man is like one of the best of humans, of humankind. Like he is one of the greatest superheroes.
Hmm.
He is. Okay, we'll just.
Which
I
he is.
did not know
but
that.
no, he's so good for just the sake of being good. Like he's really the soul of like the Avengers and just the Marvel, superhero.
Do you think Spider-Man would be
Pretty
good
much,
if he wasn't in a city?
I mean, he's
Yeah.
been in lots of places where he's not in the city.
Well, like just throw him out. Like I don't know. Let's say here. Like
he
in-
wouldn't be
in
able to
Spirit
web
Lake.
swing, but like
he
still-
loses.
He
webs.
still has a
Oh, yeah.
lot of power,
yeah.
speed. He has the spider
Reflexes.
senses.
he wouldn't be as mobile, I don't think.
He
but
wouldn't
like,
be able to web swing through buildings, obviously. You throw him
Yeah.
in the Sahara Desert, okay, but he can still handle his own.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He fought Sandman in the Sahara Desert once. That was fun.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, you saw that new poster with Sandman
Yep.
in the new movie.
looks awesome.
I'm
But,
so excited.
Wolverine's great. I love it. How he's he takes it upon himself, the burden upon himself to do the things that need to be done, but no one should have to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he is the best at what he does, but what he does isn't very nice. Obviously, it's killing. I like how he's not like invincible, but he is.
Yeah.
Like, he still has to go through all of the crap. Like, he dies the most brutal way all the time, but he always comes back because he needs to.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
he's been through more pain than just about anyone in the Marvel universe, you know. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He holds together the X-Men when lots of crap goes down. He's like kind of the opposite of Cyclops when he's the leader and everything.
When was Wolverine introduced?
Later on.
It was a later character?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was introduced in Hulk.
He was after second generation, I think.
Well, like what year, though? Like about what
Oh,
year?
a long time.
Yeah, he was.
Long time.
He was first introduced in Hulk comics. He fought Hulk, and then they made him more fleshed out and made him an X-Men and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know for me, he was actually one of the first heroes I ever heard about. Like when I was very young, my parents, like I said, they got me this Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. But then I would go over to hang out with my brother, and they actually had this old X-Men arcade type game.
So good.
Is it the
It was really
beat 'em
hard,
up?
It was really
The
hard.
beat 'em up?
Yeah.
That game is awesome.
But
The game
there were
was
only
awesome.
two characters I was good at in that game: Spider-Man and Wolverine. You know, those are the only two characters I was good at, so I got really attached to them.
Probably because of the two
And-
strongest ones, right?
No.
No, there were others
No.
actually way better, but those are the only two I managed to
Wait, is
get.
it the? I'm thinking. Is it
I think
the?
you're thinking of something different.
Are you thinking of Marvel vs. Capcom?
No. This was Super Nintendo way back in the day when it was actually like an
Oh.
arcade style
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
where you had to go through and like
They had
survive.
it on the arcade games.
I didn't know
Back in-
Spider-Man was in that game.
I think Spider-Man is. I think Iron Man is too.
Huh.
For a little bit, like
Mhm.
they're additional characters, not like the main story.
Gotcha.
hmm
Yeah.
But I remember playing through that. And that was one of my first exposures to the superhero and comics world.
Mhm.
And so when I got in there and actually started reading, they were actually two of the three first ones I started reading. The other one being Batman. If you guys can't tell, I'm a Batman fan.
Of course.
So
Never
those were
would've
the
guessed.
three comics I started reading back in the day. And for most of my life, they were probably the only three I really cared about. You know, the three that I
Yeah.
kept up with, the three that I followed. And then when the superhero movies started getting big, what was one of the first big Marvel
Hugh
heroes?
Jackman.
Huge Jackman.
Jacked man.
Right?
Jacked man.
So back in
Which he
those
is.
days,
He did. Yeah.
portrayed him really well.
He did his own little spin, but he's so good.
He is
He
really
is
good.
so good. And I don't know, it hooked me, you know?
Speaking
And I
of-
fell in love with the
Speaking of
character.
that, I found out the other day that like it was a while ago actually, but that scene in Days of Future Past when the young Magneto and Professor X go to find him in the bar.
And he's like,
Mm.
yeah,
That's
dude.
improvised.
Yeah.
Like he just was like
There's
sitting
supposed
there.
to be something
There
else
was
going
he was
on,
supposed to
and
actually say something
he just
more.
blurted that out, and they just like walked
He's
away.
like, "Go f yourself," and they're like, "All right,"
Yeah, that's
and they just kept
improvised.
to the movie. I was like, "That's awesome,"
It's totally his character.
because that's
that
like
works.
such a good part of the movie. Like it is his
Mhm.
character. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. He's got a soft spot for me. I love Wolverine,
Yeah, he's awesome.
and like I said, there's that connection to Spider-Man, which makes it even better. Like, there's a comic series called Spider-Man and the X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
and this is when Wolverine dies after one of their, I can't remember what happens, but they have a school, and he was a teacher, and he literally says in his will, like, have Spider-Man teach my class.
Mhm.
Because first off, he knows there's a traitor in the class, and Spider-Man's one of the only people in the world that he trusts immensely, like, without a doubt. So
Knows that he wouldn't be the traitor.
he would know, he would come in and find them because he's also a genius.
Yeah.
But and he cares about kids.
And he's got the Peter
Spider-Man's
tingle.
teacher, too, so.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's a really short one-shot storyline. It's actually pretty cool. But yeah,
Did
no, I
not
love
know that.
Wolverine. He's a cool dude.
Mm-hmm. And like
Dirty,
you,
brutal, but
yeah, I was gonna
for
say
a reason, right?
Yeah.
that was part of what I fell in love with. He was one of those characters that just wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty to get the job done.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. And broken too, like
Mm-hmm.
with his memories and all that crap too.
Mm-hmm.
Having to do what he has had to do with like the Phoenix Saga and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's a cool character.
He really is. I'm excited for that game.
No.
That's gonna be
Oh
super
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
I forgot they were even making one.
Yep.
Yep.
Insomniac.
Yeah.
I want him to die.
They're growing too.
They're gonna have to.
There's no way they
So
don't.
good.
There's no way they don't. But
And I can see that, like, his rough and gruff in behavior and Spider-Man's banter, like, together.
yeah,
It's
that's
so
why
Oh,
I
it'd
think
be pretty
I was
good,
telling
yeah.
you
So
that
good.
a while back. You should play Web of Shadows because they do that in Web of Shadows.
Yeah.
I like that
Mhm.
game a lot actually. But
What was that on?
it's a 360.
Yeah, it was
era.
360.
So I played it on
I
the
know.
Wii.
I
I
actually
think.
used it as an example for my class one day.
Yeah, I played it on my Wii, but I think the 360 is the best version of it. But yeah, it's like basically the whole plot of it is symbiotes take over New York, and it's like this post-apocalypse. Like you start off in the very beginning cutscene. It's actually a really cool cutscene, with like what happens at the end of the game, and then it takes you back
It's a
to
Venom bomb, right?
yeah. So and then Wolverine's in it, and basically like they're trying to like prevent. It's basically a ground zero, and like Wolverine, Luke Cage, Spider-Man, and a few other heroes are like trying to prevent the symbiotes from growing and
Yeah.
to defeat Venom. It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
There's a Spider-Man and Wolverine. I can't remember what it's called. It's a comic volume that's just them together. A storyline where like they get trapped in the past together and stuff.
Mhm.
But there's my favorite scene in like almost all of the comics. And they like get back everything, and I can't remember. They're like watching. They were sitting on a roof together or something, and like they see MJ or something, and I think Wolverine just goes, "Redheads, am I right?" And they just fist bump.
That's funny.
Because MJ redhead,
And then Green Jean Grey.
redhead.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's funny.
Yep.
That's so good.
That's really funny. Man,
That's pretty great.
that was great.
Oh yeah, that's mine. Go ahead, Logan.
All right, yeah. So you guys, Wolverine.
Yep.
You got Thor. So mine is it's kind of obvious with my sweatshirt right now, but mine is Captain America.
The American boy.
I love, and it's Steve Rogers specifically. I actually really like Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes Cap too. Like I think they're both awesome, but specifically Steve Rogers is my favorite.
As it should be.
He's a good character.
He's really cool. Like I just love the whole idea that he's this World War II soldier who got frozen in ice and is a man at a time and
He's like Disney.
but yeah, I just love the I don't know. I think when I look at Cap, I align with him on a lot of beliefs. Like I just
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
good for sake of good.
yeah,
You know.
and he's this leader, and he's just this really hard guy to disagree with at times, and what I love about him too is he's not just this follow blindly guy. He questions, am I making the right call here?
Right.
And he's very much about doing the right thing, and I love that.
And he's a little bit old-fashioned, but he's not closed-minded either.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Like he will think about it, and he knows, like, obviously he is the man at a time. Things have changed, so he has
Yeah.
to learn about the
Mhm.
world again.
Yeah.
But he doesn't let that change who he is either.
Mhm.
Yep.
I was going to say he still holds those old values
Like
and
he's
remains true to the traditions.
Morally good,
Yeah.
just good.
He's also
Mhm.
Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I do love that line in the first Avengers
There's
when
only one God, man. I don't think he dresses like that.
yeah, I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
yeah, no,
Cap's a cool dude.
he's awesome. And I thought the MC did a great job with him. His whole arc in that that saga was
Mhm.
insanely
It was good.
good. Like it was bittersweet to see him, leave, but it was
Well-earned.
is a very well earned
Mhm.
win, and it's just a really good character, really well done character that I hope to see at some point later down the line. Like I don't know, this is a different topic, but obviously I'd love to see him come back some way later on.
Yeah, well,
But I don't.
I
know.
just picture him saying, "No, I don't think I will."
essentially, Chris Evans wants nothing more to do with the MC.
You don't think so?
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I thought he.
That's my understanding as well.
Yeah.
Huh.
But who knows? Like,
But
we
yeah,
got a new one, so
yeah. But like also,
Pretty
Winter
cool.
Soldier is one of my probably favorite
love-
movies
yeah.
ever.
I
like,
think
that
that is
mo-
the best Marvel movie.
I do too.
Mhm.
It's so good.
Hands down, is the best.
It is like so well done. I
Just
love
about
the
everything about it
story.
is
I
awesome.
love. It's
There's a lot of good ones though.
The pacing,
the pacing is
the
Mhm.
character
incredible.
development,
Character development is awesome.
Mhm.
just the kind of sleek, behind the scenes nature of everything that's going on.
Yep. It's got my favorite
And
cap suit.
It's got my soundtrack's great too.
Yeah.
It's got my favorite ending sequence design wise ever as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's just something for me. But
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we discussed this before, and we all know. So
Yes,
I think we went into good detail about this. So for those out there who are watching this and want to know more about our favorites on that, you should go watch that episode.
Yeah.
Don't remember which one it was,
Absolutely.
but
Did we have that?
yeah. We discussed favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, that's right, we did.
I guess yeah. All right, we discussed favorite Marvel movie. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Winter
So,
Soldier.
I was still on the just like second favorite superhero. I'm like,
No.
that's oddly specific. That's not one we talked about already.
No, but favorite Marvel
Yes,
movie we have
we-
spoken about. So I do love discussing that, but for the sake of
But yeah.
Sure.
keeping on topic,
Yeah.
I do want to keep.
But yeah. So yeah.
Otherwise, if you guys want to know more, have any other questions, all of our Twitters are in
Yep.
the description as well. So
Mhm.
feel free to tweet at
Yeah.
us.
But no,
I just-
but yeah,
Overall, I just love Cap,
Cap
and
moves.
I think when I look at him as a character, I really connect with him on a lot of things. Like a big part of his character is like questioning things and be like, "Are we doing the right thing here?" And like
Mhm.
I do that a lot. Like I'm very like, "Hey, I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing and like I'm making the right call. I have the right beliefs on things," and so I really make sure that I don't let my own, pre-notions about things or whatever get in the way, and I try to make the right call, and
All while representing something too.
Exactly.
But
Mhm.
representing what it should be, not necessarily what it is.
exactly,
Mhm.
and that's what I love.
He is a man of the government. He's a soldier.
But he's not like this government
But-
drone.
He's a man of what the government should be
Exactly.
for the people, and when
Yep.
the government is corrupt, he's all against that.
Yep.
Mhm.
As he
Like-
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love how like
Man, he would hate the U.S. government right now.
I just love how he doesn't.
Mhm.
He's not afraid to call BS when he sees it, especially with his closest friends, right?
Like
Mhm.
Civil War.
Like Civil War is a great example of that. Like,
Mhm.
Calls Tony out.
yeah, and he's
This
like,
isn't right.
exactly.
And he dies for it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a great comic, by the way. You should check that out. Civil War.
Mhm.
First one.
Oh, speaking of Marvel stuff, this has popped in my head. Have you seen the little snippet where they're having like an NBA Finals watch party with the Marvel characters? Have you seen that at all? Like Tony Stark is hosting an NBA Finals watch party,
Oh, isn't it Spider-Man come in?
and Spider-Man
It's-
has to go
yeah.
get snacks for Tim Duncan.
Yeah, it was. I think that was a trailer for No Way or Far From Home.
I don't know what it was.
I
I just
know what you're
remember
talking
saying I saw it this
Yeah,
morning.
it was
and I
it was a trailer.
laughing. I'm
It was a
like, this is
trailer for Far From
fantastic.
Home when
Just a
that was
teaser
coming
thing,
out.
yeah.
It was during the NBA Finals.
Just
Yeah.
doing that stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had to go get snacks for Tim Duncan, and they were having like a watch party at
Yeah.
the Avengers
It was
Tower.
actually
Interesting.
It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. I didn't even remember that. But no, yeah, Cap's a great character.
Yes, he's really cool.
Because I just thought of
Very
it
good.
because he's like happy. He's asking like, send the invites out, and he goes, "Well, what about Cap? No, it's too soon for that," or something like
Yeah.
that. It's a-
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I think probably the most respectable Marvel superhero there is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I can see that.
Worthy of, at least, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think Spider-Man, obviously, but
I mean,
people don't have that same respect yet
Yeah.
for him as he probably deserves.
yeah.
For
Mhm.
obvious reasons and good reasons, too.
Yeah.
But
And Cap is truly worthy.
he's a good
One
dude.
of the few.
Mm-hmm. But no, he's definitely one of my top 5. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd be 3 or 4, but he's definitely top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's a good one.
very good.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of good ones. We'll talk about this more some other times.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. So,
You
all
wanna
right.
move on then?
Yep, Jordan, let's hit you.
All right, so I guess for what I'm gonna bring up is we're gonna go back to video game talk.
Okay.
Just kind
Okay.
of circling back around.
Fine with that.
What is a game genre that has died out that you really want to come back? Because I've been playing a game called It Takes Two with Marissa the last few nights, and it's basically a couch co-op game, but it has a free pass that she was able to download. So even though I bought it, it was playing just like, it was still split screen and everything.
Yeah.
But just going back and playing like an old school couch co-op style game, even though it's a new one, it just came out this year. We both just fell in love with it. Like, it's such a great game. The puzzles in it are great. The way you got to communicate and solve them together is fantastic because you can't do it without both. Like you can't just solve the puzzle by yourself. You got to actually communicate and work together with your partner to do that. And it's such a fun style of game that I haven't played in a long time. Like, there's not couch co-op games that have been out almost did all recently that have been
Not
really,
AAA
really good.
for the most part. There's one maybe AAA-ish.
Yeah, I mean, just
They
there's
came
not
out in
many
the last
though.
few years, but
Like it's a
lots of-
relatively dead
it's
genre.
It's very common in indie games.
Well, in indie games, I'm talking like, what do you want? Big mainstream,
Sure.
like what do you want to see come back? Because mine would be couch co-op. After playing this with her, we both just fell in love with it. Like it's such a fun game, and we're actually going to be getting more by this developer because it's the same people that made A Way Out, and
Yeah.
so we're
That
going to
was
be
probably the only one that came out recently.
yeah, we're going to be playing that together as well at some point. But I want to know what genres have really kind of died out the last 10 years. You know, with everything going more online. And having more like the battle royale genre is really taken off, and everything's going like the big multiplayer now, like Call of Duty and Battlefield, you know, and
Everything that you can add microtransactions to,
yeah,
which is technically everything. But those
yes.
are-
But I want to know what you guys think would be a good genre to kind of bring back, because after playing couch co-op with her, you know, or like a couch co-op style game with her the last few nights, like just fall in love with it. I want more of that.
I want turn-based Final Fantasy games back.
I agree with that.
Man, preach it.
I want
Preach it.
Bring it back. It was good. It wasn't broke. Why'd you get rid of it?
Why'd you try to
Innovation's
fix
not
it?
always better.
I agree with that.
If it
ain't
ain't
broke,
broke,
don't
don't fix it.
Turn-based Final Fantasy, where it started, what it made it, you know, what it is today outside of storyline. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want. Like, okay, Final Fantasy VII, one of the greatest RPGs, JRPGs of all time, widely
Mhm.
considered. Great game. We've wanted a remake for ever. Finally got it. Part 1 came out when 3 years back now,
Yeah.
Couple
Jeez.
years.
something like that.
That's been long.
Really cool to see all those characters again and that story and the little bits that they changed. Was a letdown for me. To be
It
honest,
was as well for me.
because the story or the gameplay just wasn't it.
Yeah.
And I don't
Mhm.
dislike that gameplay. It's just not what I wanted.
Yeah. Not agree.
Like, there wasn't a factor for grinding. There wasn't a factor for leveling it up and creating, you know, more powerful items, materia, and stuff for your character, aside from the obvious in the game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it just took some of the, I don't know, fan favorite cult classic kind of little bits of the old game and took it away.
Mm-hmm.
What those things really made Final Fantasy VII what it is.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You know,
Oh,
I
I
love the new
agree.
graphics. I love the cinematics. I love all of that. The smoothness of, and flow of gameplay. The added bits and character development they added to the story that made it you know, new and fresh. That was great. But I miss the old school stuff.
Same.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I miss it a lot.
I'd agree with that.
Mm.
So that would be my number one for sure.
Mm.
And if they want to throw something else in there, bring back co-op campaign for Halo. So.
Is
Or
the new
FPS
Halo
stuff.
game? Are they having the co-op
Yeah, I
campaign
think
at
they're-
all?
I don't think so.
They're
Really?
gonna add it later, I thought.
Maybe.
Maybe.
They're gonna add. Maybe.
Yes, I haven't heard that yet.
don't
But
That's a whole different conversation. But
oh yeah,
just in general, FPS games co-op campaign offline. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Split screen. Bring it back.
yeah.
That's
Which is
but-
exactly like what It Takes Two is. It's split
Yeah.
screen. It's beautifully done too. I love it.
But yeah. Turn-based Final Fantasy. I'm done. That was my rant. Go ahead.
Oh.
Making Weston think a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm just still thinking.
I completely agree with Dan on that, but I don't know. Most of mine's more stuff that I wish they would just get rid of, more so what they'd bring back. Because I really want them to get rid of this whole microtransaction crap, or
Oh,
releasing
gosh, yeah.
games that are only
That's-
part done
Yeah.
and expecting you to like pay for the rest or wait for the rest of the game to release. It's just like that's dumb.
Yeah. Speaking of microtransactions, did you hear what EA did this last week? To a
Don't even get me
Twitch
started
streamer?
on EA.
Nope.
So there's a Apex Legends tournament that one Twitch streamer's hosting, and they're EA sponsoring the whole thing, like they're paying for all of it. Another Twitch streamer wanted in on it. EA got a hold of this guy's manager and said, "No, we don't want him in this tournament because he does gambling streams," which is extremely hypocritical from a company who sells loot boxes to like 12
No
year olds.
kidding.
Like their whole thing, they straight up said
world
no.
law is gambling.
Yeah, like they straight up said no. We do not want this Twitch streamer in this tournament because he does gambling streams. Like we don't want him in it. But from EA, the company whose entire way to make money is microtransactions for loot boxes to maybe get a grand prize, that is the definition of gambling. That's so hypocritical.
Yeah, no kidding.
But anyways, that's like a whole other topic for another day. I just was wondering if you guys heard about
Casinos
that.
need to be a certain age.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are straight up. Like, it's 14-year-olds and, like, 13-year-olds that are buying these loot boxes with their parents' credit cards, you know? And it's one of those things where you're like, are you kidding me? Like, this is where you're going to be, you know, standing your moral ground is by saying, no, this Twitch streamer does it. We can't let him in. But yet, at the same time, they do that in every single game that they play or they put out, which is ridiculous to me. Anyways, that's... I just want to know if you guys heard about that. Whole other topic for another day, I guess.
Okay.
But
No. I think the way I'm going to phrase mine is what I want to come back are complete games that don't require anything outside of the original purchase to play the game.
like a giant freaking day one update.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
Like, it used to be I could go in and I could buy the game off the shelf, and it was complete, it was playable. Sure,
Just
there
like
may
that
be
one
one
sitting right
bug
there.
or two in there,
Well,
maybe.
That one's arguably complete.
It's Superman 64 for those of you guys. I know
Everything
you
that
Like
can be achieved in that game can be
Pokemon.
achieved
Like, you can see those Game Boy games over there.
in that
Yes.
game.
Those were complete games. You bought them, they were ready to go, you were good to go.
Not
Yep.
full decks, though.
I didn't
Yours.
need to go and buy off the DLC. I didn't need to buy a whole bunch of small little cosmetic packs or anything like that.
Yep.
It was a complete game. And
Oblivion
it was,
horse armor.
would you guys get what I'm saying? That's the
Yeah.
that's if there's
Yeah,
a genre
I
I
get
want
it.
to have come back, it's the complete games
Yeah, I
on
get
day
it.
one.
Yeah, I totally get that 100%.
Where everything that is cool in that game can be achieved already in that game through grinding.
Mhm.
Yep. I can agree with
Amen.
that.
Preach
Old
it.
school, I'm just thinking, I
Ugh.
don't know, Call of Duty 4, MW2, where you can get everything by just doing crazy stuff in the game.
Yep.
Mhm.
But now you can just buy
Not
the
where you
skin.
have to buy a dang battle pass
Yep.
for $30 or whatever, and maybe you get some stuff.
Yeah, I hate
that
the whole
everyone
battle
gets.
pass
How
in
about I
general.
achieve it through skill?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
hate.
Well, see, the
hate
battle
the battle
pass
pass.
is the skills thing because you have to level up for it, but it's just
No,
another
it's
paywall.
just time.
It's
just
just-
yeah.
paywall and time. Like, instead, I could knife 5 people in a match when I'm at low health and get a sweet calling card in MW2, which I
Yep.
did. It was awesome. And that's awesome. I
Yeah.
can show that. People can see that and say, hey, this guy did that crazy
He
thing.
earned
I
it,
really
yeah.
want that.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Instead of, oh, this guy bought this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
That's stupid.
Now it's definitely the thing though with games nowadays where it is 100%. It is pay to win, or it is, you know, if you don't want to put in the work, give us money and we'll just give you the reward. Which it takes away the fun of it. That's why, I mean, there's a
Or,
reason
yeah.
why I haven't played Call of
They
Duty
make
in
it
years.
so ridiculously crazy that you have to buy the shortcut, like
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Too.
And yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing.
And all that garbage.
See, and it sucks
Speaking
too.
of EA,
Yeah.
It sucks too because like obviously I guess I shouldn't feel bad because of EA, but like I feel bad because I love that game now. Because if you actually go back and play that game, it's actually really good now. Because they took out all that crap and like you just have all the characters now, and you actually can just buy the $20 version, or I think it's $40 version now. The game's $20 now, and you buy the $40 version, you get all the skins free and everything. Like it's just all
So
about.
it's just another paywall.
It's just another paywall.
But
It's a $20 game.
Yeah.
But you pay double for it to get all the extra stuff that you wouldn't get.
I'd still pay $40 for the game though. Like it's a very
Yeah,
nice.
it is still cheaper
But
than a
it's
full
the
price
exact
game
same
though.
Thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
The exact same thing. It's not
But, like-
super DLC, like another storyline that's crazy and
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
There was effort put in. It's just cosmetics for more money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That should be part of the game that we can earn and unlock, but isn't.
I can see both sides of that because I mean technically it is cheaper than it was when it came out, so you're still kind of saving money, but
Yeah.
you are also getting
They're still
more
gaining
overall.
money.
No, I
What they
know,
should.
I
Just
know,
the same.
but
I think
I can see both
They
sides
do
on
it
that.
well enough though, because it's like a lot of the skins aren't that big a deal, and some of the skins they still have, like you don't have all of the skins right. Like there's one Darth Maul skin you don't get. It's actually his only other alternate skin, and you have to like actually win. You have to kill like 1,000 people with Darth Maul. I think it's what it is.
There should be
like-
a lot more of those though than just one example.
I think there's
Like what he was saying, you know, or just even now, I guess to be fair, even Call of Duty now still has camos for guns. You know?
But it's not as good.
A few of them you can unlock, just the basic stuff.
But like a lot of the cool ones you have to buy.
It's all the same for every gun.
Like a lot of the reactive
but all
stuff.
the cool stuff that you're like, oh wow, I really want that. Like that looks really cool.
Like the anime skins.
Because Vanguard just came out this week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because I've seen quite a few people talking about it, and I've heard a lot of really good things about that game. Like a lot of the people that genuinely hate Call of Duty are like, okay, no, like this multiplayer is actually the best they've had in years. So I'm not saying I'm gonna get it.
And the opposite. So.
I was tempted to get it. Well, even then, like they put up a poll.
Just because I like playing COD with the boys, but
they put up a poll on Twitter, which is actually I think very telling, because everyone on Twitter hates everything, and it was like, hey, like your answers are anonymous. Do you like the Call of Duty multiplayer? And there was 20,000 responses to this poll, and it was 75% yes.
Give it at least a week.
See, I think the thing with that though is that people have kind of gotten this it's another COD game like mentality that like even a little bit of a difference is going to be like, oh, that's awesome.
A topic. Can we stick with a COD game for multiple years?
Yes.
See, I would love that, but that's
and you just
I would honestly
revamp and do crazy.
That's a genre we can bring back. Shooter games that don't come out every year.
I would honestly love to jump back into Cold War because I genuinely enjoyed Cold War. I thought it was pretty decent.
I think my last Call of Duty game I actually enjoyed the multiplayer for was Black Ops 2.
Oh dang,
it was a long time ago.
Black Ops 3 had the best zombies.
I don't think so.
It was pretty good. But
okay, no, because on Steam you can get modded maps and like custom maps and stuff, and it's so much fun.
I don't care about modded crap. I just base game stuff.
Okay, well even then the base game zombie maps that they have are great, but that's beside the point. But that could be another, I guess technically it's not a genre, but a game style. Like let's not have yearly releases.
Yes,
I love that Assassin's Creed took a step back. They're like, you know what,
and
we're gonna go every
way
other
better.
year. Yeah, and ever since then, the games have been better.
That it deserves. You can put your
Odyssey is awesome.
Just a better game.
Yeah,
Valhalla. I haven't played yet, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, I've been told that it's day and night better than the predecessors.
Yeah, my dad plays it all the time. Loves
Odyssey,
it.
to be honest.
Yeah, Odyssey's awesome.
But that was so much different and more in depth than all the other ones. Past.
Yeah.
Sure that they rehash lots of things. And make it something.
But they took more time and made
monotonous, but it's the
same bigger.
Thing,
Yep.
Another style of game I would love to see come back is like the going back to the N64 days, I guess, and like the 3D platformer collectathon games like Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64 and like Super Mario 64. Like I want to see more of those games come back as well. Where they
have Crash 4.
I have played Crash before. I have the Insane trilogy or whatever. Wasn't a fan, but I also never played them growing up. So I mean, my first experience with it was a couple years ago. That was my first Crash experience. So I wasn't. Spyro's good. Spyro's really good.
So hyped when that came out.
That is fantastic as well. I think they need to bring style of games like that back though too.
That's a fun genre.
3D collectathons. Those are fun. Speaking of which, we still haven't beat Donkey Kong.
I know.
So at some point we should probably do that.
I know. I think for me, I don't know. It's hard to think of like genres in specific. Sure. A lot of the genres that I love are
even if it's not genre, just something you want to see come back.
Oh,
like what's something that used to be very popular, like very prevalent in games, that is no longer, and you want to see it come back?
The Mother franchise. Sorry, I said that too much.
That wasn't popular in video games. That was a video game.
But just something I want to bring back is Mother. I don't care about a new game. I just want them remastered or something. But I think it'd be cool to get like some new like Metal Gear games, like actually good Metal Gear, not like Kojima's stupid. Or
is Kojima stupid or is it Konami?
I meant Konami's stupid. Konami's Did you see did you see today that they actually are like they're going through and Konami's taking down a bunch of like Metal Gear games from like you can't buy them anymore.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
They just went through and like wiped all of the sites.
Interesting.
It's like what the heck?
It'll become a bit of a collectible, probably.
No, absolutely it will.
But Kojima,
Yeah, no, Kojima's
Crazy
awesome.
Man right right there.
He's definitely weird, but
He's
I
awesome.
love the
He's a creative mind who cares about what he's
yeah.
doing.
Yep, Metal Gear's
And we need more of that.
Metal Gear series is awesome. So it'd be cool to see that. I know this isn't one personally. I kind of played a little bit of it, but I just remember it from growing up mainly. Splinter Cell. I know a lot of people want Splinter Cell back.
I remember those games; they were fun.
So they're kind of like the same vein, like
Somewhat,
more like
yeah.
stealth
Yeah.
shooters.
There's a
Minus
lot
the
of people
JRPG
that are
style.
wanting those.
Yeah.
But
Isn't that no? I never played Splinter Cell, but I've heard a lot of comparisons of that with like the new Ghost Recon
Yes.
games. Are very similar.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah, because like I played Ghost Recon Wildlands.
There's
I haven't
actually a
played
lot of like
Wildlands
Easter
2.
eggs too.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like I think you can get like his headset in the game or like his night vision
Yeah.
thing.
one's more about like he's an assassin and spy instead of like a military group. You know?
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I remember those. That was sweet. That was sick.
I think one that just came back is like Back for Blood, or redid it, is like the Left 4 Dead series.
Yeah,
Like
I played Back for Blood a
co-op.
little bit a few nights ago.
I finally downloaded
on
it. I'm
Games
gonna play
Pass.
as Christian at some point, and I'm super excited about that because I love playing Left 4 Dead back in the day, and like that was a fun game. And so apparently this is like the spiritual successor to
It's
it.
the same developers, different
Yeah.
publisher. So it's basically the same exact thing, just with a different name.
Yeah.
It is pretty fun. Marissa and I played it a few nights ago, and we
Also,
enjoyed
another
it.
series that could come back is Silent Hill.
PT.
It was going to.
No,
PT.
It was going
Like,
to. Well, it's going to. But then
cool
it gets-
stuff like original. You know, follow the kind of same vein that you started with. You know, and you don't have to change crazy things like. I don't know. PT was just an interesting teaser, but it wasn't really Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Like,
But it was a teaser
keep it to
for
it.
Silent Hill before they pulled the
It
plug
was a
on
teaser
it.
for like
Wasn't
an
it?
indie thing. It wasn't exactly Silent Hill.
Oh, I thought it was.
It was. That's what it
Okay.
was going to come from and become. You know,
Okay.
but
Got you.
It never did.
Got you.
But that game series is crazy. But yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Trying to think of other games from my childhood that stick out. For some reason, I get like Viva Pinata in my head. I used to play that a lot.
Simulation.
Yeah.
Farm the pinatas.
I remember playing that a lot as a
Oh.
kid. That'd be cool to play.
That you just reminded me another one. Like, is it Tom Clancy's End War? I think is it End War? I'm pretty sure it's like the top-down
Maybe.
military strategy game where like you had to direct your units of troops to go like different ways. And
I don't know.
I always thought that was really kind of cool because like you could even get on like
RTSs?
you could even get on the
love
microphone on
Command
the
and Conquer.
Xbox.
Have you played Halo Wars?
Yeah.
Is that one good?
Yeah, it is a pretty cool story too.
Okay, so it's Tom Clancy's Halo Wars. It's the same exact thing.
It's an RTS.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like
Yeah.
I like
Command
that.
and Conquer.
I never
Back
played
then,
Command and
that
Conquer.
was the
I just
RTS
played
back
that.
in the day, aside from StarCraft. You know, it was the common person's StarCraft.
Yeah.
But yeah, RTSs are fun.
Hey, speaking of which, New Age of Empires is out. We should play that sometime. It's on Game Pass, so I
should.
mean we could.
My dad's really upset right now because
Yeah.
I didn't know this until recently. My dad's like, I love Age of Empires. Like, I want to play the new one. And I was like, yeah, I think it comes out next week. And like that's last week. And he looked in, I guess on Xbox it's only PC exclusive for Game Pass.
Yeah.
So he's like, dang, I really want to play it. I was like, you can play it on my PC if you want. I'll download it.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's a game we should play sometime.
But apparently
as well.
he like played it a ton in college. Like he just sat in his
Yeah,
room
it's a
and
fun
played it.
game, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Especially you can get a good LAN party.
Yeah.
What happened to those days where you got together
Yes.
with a group?
That's
You
another
would
thing.
sit
about that.
around,
Last
you would all have,
weekend
like,
was
your-
amazing.
You're like,
That's true. It
you
was
know,
fun.
We had
you'd
our-
all be in the same,
Yep.
kind of like your couch co-op,
Yeah.
but like a whole bunch of people get together in
Yep.
a room and you just
Halo,
play.
baby.
Yep, I'm
You
down.
know?
Yeah, we had our Final Fantasy weekend finally this past weekend or 2 weekends ago,
It was really fun.
and it was awesome.
We should do it again.
Like we just hung out, played Final Fantasy 8, and
Yeah.
just did nothing else. It was amazing.
That's something that we could do as well as like because I used to do that with Halo way back in the day. That'd be so
Oh.
much fun though. Get a bunch of
I'd
TVs
be
set
down to do
The
it.
up.
hours I spent.
We should do that with Halo before the new one comes out,
I'm down, dude.
or do it when the new one comes out and play the new one.
I feel like if you're gonna do it with
I
the
don't
new
have a
one,
Series X.
I feel like if you do it with the new one, you need to go somewhere that has better internet than that church because that church's
true.
internet's
If
horrible.
it's a LAN party, you don't need it.
Yeah. We
Well,
just do.
with the new Halo
See-
though, if you do like the multiplayer stuff together, like you're gonna need it.
I remember the days when you would actually get an Ethernet switcher. You'd put all your
A hub.
Yep.
you have an actual hub.
Yep.
You would then connect it to everybody's laptops. You'd be like making room on tables. You'd be like setting things on top of books, just trying to make space for everybody.
Dude, those were the days.
And like you'd be saying like, "Oh, do you got an extra power like outlet here? Oh, we'll bring out a new power strip."
Yep.
And you like get out and you get it all set up, and everybody would hook up, and
Oh, yeah.
you just had a
That
blast,
was
you
my
know.
life in late middle school or high
Dude, those were the days. Honestly, I
Right?
miss those. That's another thing
school.
too,
You got
I
a TV
guess.
to bring, right? Yeah. I
Yeah.
got one too. My mom's got two. I'll bring.
Hey.
Yeah, another
Right,
thing we could
right.
do.
Hook up those Xboxes, baby.
Yep.
The Mario Party, John. Like this games like that, where you get a bunch of people together and you play Mario Party, all just hang out. Like,
Yep.
it feels like that. Just anything local, it feels like it's dying out, and I hate it.
Mhm.
I legitimately hate it because I love getting. I mean, you guys all know this. I love getting together and like spending time with people. Like it, I don't like. I mean, I'll deal with it. The online stuff, but I would much rather prefer being in the same room with people that I'm,
Yep.
hanging out with. Like that. That's more fun to me.
Trash talk is so more meaningful.
It
know,
really
right?
is. So like when you're doing Mario Party stuff, just like with people. Like the other night, my sister and I got the new Mario Party for the Switch, and we were playing that a couple nights ago. And it brought back like I don't know if it was because I was playing on Yoshi's Island or what, like the old N64 map, and I had the old N64 music, and we had the N64 mini game like the pack on, and it brought me back to like my childhood, with the nostalgic music and just playing that in the same room with people. It just took me back to like my childhood days, and I genuinely miss that stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes.
It's just kids nowadays, they don't get that near as much as we did, and it sucks because it was such a great time.
Yep.
Those were the golden days of gaming.
Yep.
You see, they keep thinking that because the technology has gone to where the internet's so much better, we can just do everything over the internet, but that's not necessarily better.
Oh,
Part
it's
of what
absolutely
made
not.
these games great was that connection,
Yep.
The ability to be in the same place, be able to be with your friends, and to actually just have fun with them,
Yeah.
It was that connection that made them great. It wasn't the internet or the technology that made it great. They contributed to it, but it was the people you were with.
Yep.
And by taking them apart and actually making it over the internet, you've lost that,
Yep.
you
Social
know?
interaction is so much different.
Yeah, like how much fun it would be if we all got together, like we hooked up a TV here, hooked up another TV here, like we could have multiple TVs and multiple consoles set up in this one room, and that would just be so much fun. Like it's something that we don't get to do anymore.
Did that
And
every
And
week
then
in my
what you do
basement
is
at my house.
you pitch in
All the
together,
time.
grab a pizza or two,
yeah,
bring them in,
It'd be awesome.
and you just eat and play games and
some
Play
weekend
Halo
we're
all night long.
some weekend we're doing that together.
Crazy
down.
stuff goes down, and I end up throwing a tomahawk through my window.
Because I know
It's a
for
true
sure
story.
I have 2 extra TVs we could hook up just in this room. So I mean, I could use my monitor. Someone could use this TV. Bring in 2 more, and we're set. Like that would just be so much fun to me.
I'm down.
If you guys want to do that, 100%.
So
Otherwise,
my
we could just all
brother
get together and
the
play
time.
like
I played
Mario
with my
Party or
dad.
something.
My dad played Halo with us. It was great.
Good times, man, for sure.
I remember I played a lot of Call of Duty 2,
Yeah.
like the World War II one. Like
Mhm.
I played a lot of that with like family
red
would come over and I would just like absolutely destroy them because I was that kid who screen peeked.
You
You dirty little cheater.
And so I'd snipe them across map, and he'd be like, "What the heck?" And I'd be like, "Just get good." And in reality, I was cheating.
You dirty little
Little
cheater.
loser.
I have lost so much respect
Obviously,
for you
now I
right
look back and I hate myself for it, but at the time I was like, "I'm so good at this game,"
So
because I thought that's how you got to play it.
I hate you for that.
Back in the day when you didn't have all these options and things weren't established and stuff, so you had to create your own game types.
Yep.
It was so good.
Dude, that's another mechanic we could talk about as well that needs to come
Halo
back.
2
Custom
Xbox
games.
Live custom games.
Heck
was
yeah,
the
dude.
Best. 'Cause everyone's so creative too.
Yeah.
Especially like into Halo 3 when you got Forge and stuff. But
Dude, the Forge
Like-
mode made that like way better.
like, there's a
I loved it.
we used to play this all the time. A game called Cat and Mouse.
Mm.
It's on Coagulation or Blood Gulch, so the Halo 2 Coagulation or Halo 3, whatever it is. And everyone gets into warthogs and drives around. And there's 2 cats that get into Wraiths, which is the Covenant tank.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the Covenant tank can boost and go really fast short distances. And the whole time, it's a countdown timer of like 10 minutes. And at certain increments, game rules change, but the Wraith is just like the cat is just chasing these mice, the warthogs all over, and they have to smash them by running into them.
That's awesome.
And you have to survive the countdown time. And once it gets to 1 minute left, they can shoot. And it was the funnest game ever.
See, I always really liked the ones, I forget what it was called,
time.
where it was like the zombie type thing, you know,
Zombies,
like,
yep.
but it was ones with specific maps where people would make an obstacle course, and so like the zombie would move slow, you know, but like could make it through the obstacles way better. And then like
the 10 times shield and stuff.
Yeah, all these people would have to, you know, like try to make it through this obstacle course, but if the zombie caught up to you, then you're dead and you're out.
Yeah.
And you got to make it to the finish line to win.
We did that like in Halo 2 before you could even do that in Halo 3, like change options for everything. Like you could take off shield, that was it. So we'd give everyone who's a zombie or whatever has a sword with ridiculous long range back then.
Yep.
And then everyone else who was just human had a shotgun who, if you ever played Halo 2, like SWAT and stuff, using the shotgun with no shields, it's like either kills you from a mile away if he's one little tiny like pellet hits you, or you're point blank and they don't die. So it's just hit or miss. It's random craziness.
Yeah.
So people are freaking out like in these crazy maps where people are getting slashed with swords and stuff. Once you get slashed with a sword, you become a zombie too. You know, switch teams. But like some of my greatest memories ever happened like in the basement of my friend's house playing these stupid games. So good.
Yeah, I think
so much fun.
I think of like Call of Duty, and I think of like Black Ops 2 and MW2 and stuff when we'd play like Friday the 13th, and it basically like it was one person had a knife and was a killer, and you had to run around the map and try to avoid being killed, and it was like basically like if you got killed by the killer, then you became a killer. It was like basically like last one standing.
Yeah. That's exactly what this is too. Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I remember that was probably the game I played the most of. Like just after school, my friends would get on and we'd play that and get on live, and like my mom would come in and yell at me, say, "Hey, you're being too loud," and like just those are the days. Like playing,
dude, so much fun
playing Call of Duty back with the boys, and like just.
Dude, if you think Trevor's smash time is bad, Halo 2 back in the day, easily double.
Yeah.
Easily.
There's no way to track that back then either.
No, but you can just tell. I can tell.
Yeah.
Double or triple the time that Trevor has on the Smash. And Trevor has
actually, if you went
Smash.
back into that game on the stats in the game itself, wasn't there a counter?
Maybe in the actual system settings.
I thought there was one in the game, like that showed how long
not
you played
sure.
online.
I'd have to go look.
I feel like Halo 3 had something like that. That was like,
Possibly.
yeah, you've played this long, but maybe not Halo 2. I don't know. That's
The
I'm
good
not
old
really too
days. This is a nostalgia podcast. Thank you for showing up.
Yep.
dude, yeah, it was definitely fun for sure. But you guys have anything else to add, or
That sounds good to me.
just,
It's good.
Just that we need to play some Halo sometime.
I'm down.
dude, I'm 100%
We need to do a
down
nice
for
LAN
that.
party of all
I
this.
would do
Hey,
this.
we have room here, and if we keep the window open, it won't get hot.
I'm gonna play red versus blue.
We might need more space because I want more people.
Agreed.
Okay, I mean,
And we should definitely do a Age of Empires 4 LAN party.
oh, absolutely, I'm
Get-
down, man.
What is it now? Is it still 8 players max?
I think so.
So we should get all 8 players like we used to do back in the day.
Alexa, how many different teams can you have in Age of Empires 4?
I don't know that one.
I don't either. That's why I asked. Anyways, guys, we're going to call it here. So thank you so much for hanging out and watching episode 25 of Uncalled For, where every single Monday night we get together at 7 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/Huge Media Studios, and every single day, or 5 days a week, I guess, every weekday on YouTube at youtube.com/Huge Media. I know my websites. I promise. So anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Been a blast as always. We'll see you next week. And as soon as I can find the thing here that says stream ending,
Adios.
Take care.
we'll see you later. Bye-bye.